Good afternoon, good night, good morning, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Man, I'm playing with this thing now. I see that I ain't got to get in uniform, get in brand to be able to go live. I actually can now use my voice. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. Give myself a break. Hey, y'all, see, y'all don't realize, boy, being in brand is not easy, okay? Because you have to stay up on top of your wardrobe. And imagine if you didn't have a uniform, but you use street clothes as part of your brand. Boy, look at what your cleaning cost is gonna be. Look at what your clothing budget is gonna be. Because you gotta constantly keep that stuff fresh, man. So I'll tell anybody if you gonna develop you a brand, make sure it's something that you can develop a uniform along with it, and you'll cut down on a lot of cleaning costs, on a lot of clothing costs if you just get your uniform. Don't worry about people laughing and talking and doing all that other crap. And don't worry about that. Don't let that bother you. So the same people that are sitting back talking about you and laughing at you ain't got nothing going on in their own lives. That's why they got so much time to spend on you. Because if they had something going on in their own life, they wouldn't have time to be digging through yours. Evangelina, you the first one up in here today. Thank you for joining me. Let me check you out. See who you are. You might be one of my trolls. Cause they up in this camp thick, boy. I ain't lying. Let me see who you are. Let's see. Yep, I told you. I told you. One of my trolls. One of the first ones up in here. Yeah, well, enjoy your Sunday. See you later. Um, but anyway, so you got to a point now where hey Dalton, thank you for joining me, man. Um, that a lot of people will um judge you solely based on what other people are doing. They won't judge and you by the merits of what you are or not doing, but they'll take what somebody else is doing and put you in the same category. And that's why I asked the question: are you living the American dream? Are you really living the American dream where you can come out and pursue your ideas and your creativity and be successful? Can you are you able to survive? And if not, why not? And I think right now there are a lot of Americans that have given up on the idea of an American dream. It's just about survival for them right now, keeping their head above water. That's that's the only thing they can focus on is keeping their head above water. They can't dream. They can't envision. They can't you know desire because they stuck in a grind. And that's what you'll find that with most people in this country, they stuck to a grind. That's just it. They just stuck to a grind. And when they find something that's working, they ride it till the wheels fall off. And that's the honest God truth, man. And seeing, as a former street vendor, one of the things I discovered um, as a vendor was if it was the thing to do, everybody want to do it. If it was the thing to wear, everybody want to wear it. If it was a place to go, everybody want to go there. Everybody did what other folks would deem popular. Nobody originated. Nobody was original with their own thinking. And that's what we got to get back to, man, is some originality. We got to get back to stuff that is authentic. We got so much fake stuff out here and fake people. And this is see one of the things I've learned about the Diddy trial is this. You got a bunch of freaky people that's on display right now. And you would be surprised at how many people who are covering this trial that are just as freaky that's why it's so salacious to them, because they're just as freaky as what they're covering. And that Diddy trial ain't but a freak show. That's all it is. If you wanna be entertained by, if that freakiness entertains you, oh man, you'll lap that up. You'll lap that up. That's right down your alley. Right there. Right down your alley. And see, and this is the thing that I think a lot of people struggle with. The folk that you idolize and cherish and do all this, man, they just as freaky as all out. A lot of these judges, police officers, lawyers, doctors, some bona fide freaks, man. And then when that side of their nature is finally revealed, people are shocked, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be at all. Again, we got so much division and so much animosity that's being sown between us. We can't separate the good from the bad. And that's the problem that I see, right? Just like 5 years ago when I told you, man, stop hating each other because you disagree. See, I came out with that message and stood on it 5 years ago. And I'm telling you right now, we got to build more trust among people. Right now, people are just afraid to trust.
People are afraid, and this is they'll give you an opportunity to do something negative, but they are afraid to give you an opportunity to do something positive. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's what they'll do. So you have a part to play in that. Man, I'm beginning. I think I like this. Yeah, I ain't got to get in uniform. You know, you don't know where I am. You don't know what I'm doing now. Oh shoot, boy! I think I done discovered something here now. Yeah, I think I can discover something. Yes, indeed. I can be sitting here in my underwear and just go say, "Oh, let me go live." Cause they ain't got to put no shirt, no tie, and suit up and all of that stuff. You know, but this is nice. This is I like this. I like this. And matter of fact, this is see and this is what I keep telling y'all. If ideas don't grow in your head, they're dead. What do you mean, true conductor? How do my ideas grow in my head? You start seeing different expressions of them. You start seeing different scenarios with that idea. That's when it's growing in your mind. If you don't start seeing different expressions of the idea, then it ain't for you. It's just that simple. Because anything that is for you is gonna grow in your mind. Let me say that again. See, anything that is for you is gonna grow in your mind. And if it ain't for you, and see, and you can know the difference. And here is the difference in the things that are for you. You know, you cannot come out here and in public be a a positive person and then get behind closed doors and live a double life. Eventually, you're going to be exposed or destroyed. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Eventually, you will be exposed or totally destroyed. So you can play with it if you want to, but you don't realize you're really playing with fire. So anybody that's coming out here trying to deceive you into and here's another thing that and I fought the people for this because most of them are lazy. They don't wanna do no research on their own. They want everything handed to them. And see, and that probably is the problem as to why the American dream is so difficult for people to realize is because a lot of people want stuff handed to them. They don't want to go through nothing. They don't want to endure nothing. They want it smooth, they want it easy. You know, they don't want any bumps in the road, no detours, no roadblocks. And see, when you get out here and start pursuing your ideas, see, your idea is always going to come to you in finished form. It's going to show you that when you embrace it, just how much money you can make, how rich you're going to be, how popular you're going to be. It's going to show you all of that. But what it's not going to show you is where the roadblocks are, where the hazards are, where the pitfalls are. It ain't going to show you none of that. You're going to find all of that stuff when you start trying to manifest it, to make it come into reality. And that's what separate the weak from the strong. Because once you run into that adversity, and your heart is not really into what you're doing and why you're doing it, you'll be the first one to throw in the towel. Because your heart is not really into what you're doing. You see? And that's what, and that's and again, that's for the people that's looking for something for nothing. It's just that simple. Okay? So seriously, are you living the American dream? Well, I got 5 people up in here. I just wish one of them would just answer me, are you living the American dream? I mean, seriously. And if you are, how did you get there? See, because right now, you can cheat and jump the line and be very successful. It cheating, this just came to me this weekend. Uh, in fact, see how I wrote that thing down. You know, see when you live a life of sin, you live a life of deceit. You live a life of lies when you live a life of sin, because you're doing something that you know is not right, and you have to pretend that what it is that what you're doing is right, and it ain't. And that's how see, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, man. You can't come out here and call yourself a Christian and compromise. You can't do that. And we got too many that are doing that. That are compromising. They're accepting things that's an abomination to God. And see, and unfortunately, here's the sad part. Most folk done gave up on God. Don't think God even exists. Then gave up. And that's and I'm talking about Christian go to church every Sunday, but when it come down to God, they second guessing. They had doubts because a lot of the prayers and the desires that they have expressed has gone unanswered. And this is the thing with most Christians right now. You know, most of their prayers, their praying is amiss. They're praying with a motive, and they're wondering why my prayers are not working. Why I can't get this healing? Why I can't get this financial blessing? Why I can't get this miracle? But yet, look at the stuff that you believe. Look at what's coming. The matter of fact, let me read it to you so you won't. And this is one of the things that I had to check myself on. I had to check myself on this because I found out that a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is actually a reality. I want something different, but what I'm saying is what I'm seeing. Y'all know Proverbs is my book. So let me show you in Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 12, um, verse 14, it says, "A man will be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands will be rendered to him." Well, if a man is going to be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, what's the fruit of his mouth? His words. No camera, man. No camera today. No camera today. I'm experimenting. Feels pretty good to be able to sit up in here and not have to be worrying about being dressed up and all that other stuff. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Matter of fact, Kratos, let me look you up. Yeah, let me look you up because you might be another one of my trolls. That name do look familiar. Okay, you safe. You safe. But no, I ain't no camera today, man. I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting with something different. Okay. So so as I was saying, in chapter 13, it says, "A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds on violence." Okay? Uh oh man, man, I got so many trolls up in here and they ain't even funny. I ain't lying. I got some serious trolls, man. I really do. I got some serious trolls. And in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Okay? So you gotta be, see, and this is why you need to be careful about what you're wishing on other people. Because the very stuff that you wishing on other people, that you are highlighting about other people, that's the fruit of your mouth that's coming out. That's coming out of your mouth. And see, a lot of people don't think that this negativity that they're spewing out on other people will come back to them. See, they don't believe that. They don't believe that you know that it will destroy them. I just had to ask somebody that I know that was dealing with some health challenges, that was always placing blame on other people, and I said, look at where you are. It's your health that's been attacked, not the people that you've been complaining about, not the people that you have been holding responsible. Nothing has happened to them, but yet your health comes under attack. But you're holding on to all this negative energy for somebody else. And it's only attacking your health. So you're gonna either have to hit the reset button and change your ways, or it's gonna kill you. It's just that simple. And this is what people got to start accepting and got to start realizing. Oh man, I'm loving this, man. Hey, yeah, I'm thinking I'm loving this no camera. Maybe that's the way I need to go. So the next time I do get back on camera, you can say, "Well, where you at? Wait, what you doing? Wait, what you doing? What's going on with you?" Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Go dark for a minute. So when I do come back to the light, boy, I'd be like, "Uh-oh, something done changed. He in a new space now." Cause see, that's how y'all gonna know, man, that stuff done turned around. Cause my environment is gonna change. And see, and that's what is, and see, and it's hardly impossible for God to bless you and your environment doesn't change, or something about your environment doesn't change. See, that's the one thing that that people don't realize. Man, when you start getting blessed, stuff around you is gonna change. You're gonna look different. When you start getting blessed, you're gonna drive different. When you start getting blessed, and see, and that money is only gonna magnify who you are as a person. If you are a down to earth, good hearted, generous person, man, all that money gonna do is just magnify who you are. That's all it's gonna do. That's all it's gonna do is just magnify who you are. That's all it's gonna do. That's it. That's it. It's just gonna magnify it. And if you're a jerk and a butthole, that's what that money is gonna magnify. That's all money gonna do. It just magnify who you are as a person. And and one of the things I just realized the other day that I gotta start videoing more stuff down there. Cause I see some crazy stuff. I saw some girls from this basketball team, WNBA team, New York Liberty. You could tell they were basketball players because of the height, and they had the uniforms on. But some young girls from some of the high schools recognized who they were and was trying to take pictures with them. And they were really rude to them kids, man. Oh, we ain't come here for that. We just want to come out and enjoy. But you, why didn't you? If you ain't want no attention, why you come out in your team uniform with your team logo? If you didn't want no attention, why didn't you come as a regular person? If you didn't want no attention, and then when somebody give you some attention, you get offended. You get upset because somebody recognized you. But yet, all the while, that's what you've been working on is recognition. For people to go out and recognize when you walk out in public, they know who you are. And then when people know who you are, you get offended. Talking about you want some privacy. But you wasn't looking for no privacy when you was trying to get that name recognition. See, any and everything went when you was trying to get up the mountain. But now that you're up there, see, now you come with these stipulations. See, now you got all of these protocols that people got to follow in order to have some contact with you. But when you was trying to get to that point, you all bets were on. See, what no attention, no attention irritated you because you were trying to break through. And see, and this is what I'm trying to share with people. See, when you who you are, it is when nobody's watching. Let me say that again. See, who you are as a person, as an individual, is that person when ain't nobody watching. See, that's the real you. When ain't nobody looking. See, because you smooth enough and you smart enough to be in character when somebody's looking at you. When you trying to, I don't know where me and my daughter was going somewhere to the store, and she got a phone call from a job, and I was just listening at her conversation, and I told her when she hung up, I said, "Boy, you got that lingo down." You that job lingo and that conversation, you got it down pat, boy. I'm telling you could talk to anybody and you wouldn't ruffle their nerves because you just got that lingo. You just got that flow. And you can and you know y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of people be pretending. Wait, what you trying to say? You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know. So, but are you living the American dream? I mean, seriously. That's a damn good survey question to just walk around and ask people, are you living the American dream? The American dream. Let me read it to you. Let me read it to you. Uh, let's see what it says here. Living the American dream refers to the realization of the ideal that in the United States anyone can achieve prosperity, success, and upward mobility through hard work and dedication, regardless of their background. Let me say that again. Living the American dream refers to the realization of the ideal that in the United States, anyone, anyone can achieve prosperity, success, and upward mobility through hard work and dedication, regardless of their background. Anybody. And my question is, Do you find that to be the situation today, that you are able to live, be successful and prosperous, and upward mobility? Are you and see, and here again, and I got some people that I got some serious trolls, man. I mean, seriously. I don't know. I don't know what their obsession with me is. I really don't. I really don't know what their obsession with me is. Uh, but I mean, they are loyal. I got some trolls, boy. They dedicated and loyal. If it means they got to go out and open them, create another account just to come up in here, they'll do that. They'll do that. What the day is, the 8th of June? Shoot, they've been made an account yesterday, June the 7th, just so they can come up in here and get up on one of my lives. And then I got one guy that got several accounts and get on one of my posts and be trying to talk like it's different people agreeing with what he's saying. What's going on, Sally? I'm just talking. I'm just talking, Sally. That's all. I'm just talking. Let me check you out. Okay, you good? Yeah, I'm just talking. It's a Sunday, Sally. Raining in DC. Still got a lot of street closures. Am I living now? I no, I'm not living the American dream. No, that's what I'm striving for. The American dream. That's what I'm striving. I'm striving to achieve the American dream. Yeah, that's my that's my purpose, is to get out here and try to experience the American dream. But I find that a lot of people are not interested in whether you achieve that or not. They're not interested, even to the point of, helping you to get to that point. A lot of people don't, don't share in the uplift of other folk. Sally say it's harder to achieve your dreams in this day of age. Why is that, Sally? Why is it so hard? And the rich is still getting richer. But why is it so hard for one of us? I mean, think about it. The rich done, in some cases, doubled or quadrupled their wealth. Okay? But the rich is still getting richer. But none of us can seem to break through to the American dream. Absolutely. Absolutely. But how come you can't come up with a rags to riches idea, Sally? But I'm serious, and that's the sad part, that well, I don't see. I don't know that, taxing millionaires is really the answer.
Because when you sit down and think about it, you know, uh, anybody that's got billions of dollars probably has employees. You know, probably got have some form of and again, you know, I understand what a lot of people are saying about tax the rich, but how come you can't get up in that category? Well, but Sally, isn't don't you shouldn't you have the same opportunity that they have to make it through? Shouldn't you have the same? I mean, think about it. Should you? Boy, it would be nice if YouTube would put a call button on this thing, a talk button on this live. That would be off the chain if they had a talk button on this. They have all the tax breaks, they have the government contracts. Corporations used to value employees, and now the employees have to pay to have a job. So maybe that's why you have to create your own stream of income so you can get out of the matrix. Maybe that's how you create your own. So you don't get caught up in that. So you don't have to deal with that. And that's what that's one of the things that I've been advocating for the longest is, man, get your own. It's okay that other people got theirs. There's nothing wrong with dreaming big. There's nothing wrong with dreaming big. Nothing at all. And the people that are sitting back criticizing you or laughing at you, Bill Gates is giving away all his wealth, but for 10%. He says there's too much that is needs to be spread out to help people. Bill Gates is finally saying this. The problem is he's giving it to Africa and not to the people who bought his products. Well, um, that could be out of guilt. That could be more out of guilt because he probably has done a lot of unsavory things in Africa. And it could be his conscience that's making him pour some of that money of his back to try to alleviate some of the guilt that he might be experiencing. Okay. He's not getting off that the billionaire lifestyle is not a dictatorship. Okay. Uh that's not a billionaire lifestyle is not a dictatorship. See, you're taking the actions of a few people and you're whitewashing a whole category based on what a few people have done. I mean, if you were a billionaire, Would you be the same or would you be different? You know? Think about it. If all your needs were met, you know, and you ain't had to worry about no money, then what would you do? What would you do? How would you help other people? You see what I'm saying? And not to mention, you're gonna have the scammers, okay? Well, that's good. Okay. Thank you for joining me, Sally. I don't understand. I ain't trying to get caught up in the drama. It's not that not that not I'm not see you're so hung up on Bill Gates, and the hell with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is not my issue. He's not my issue. What he's doing is not my issue. I'm saying to you, where you fit into this? Where can you make a difference in this? And maybe if we start looking at it from a accountability standpoint, then we'll stop worrying about what somebody else is or is not doing. That shares no accountability. Always talking about what somebody else is doing. I could care less what Gates, what Elon Musk. I could care less what they doing. It doesn't bother me. I'm trying to get in that position so that I can experience some of the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the American dream. How come you can't dream to be a billionaire, have a billionaire idea, $1 billion idea? Why is it that you got to be always struggling paycheck to paycheck, or having difficulties making ends meet? Why is it that you are the one that's going through that? You see, and I don't care who you are. Right now, living the American dream is a challenge for Americans. It's a challenge. It really is. It's a challenge. And see, and that's from both, from the left and the right, Democrat and the Republican. This is not, this doesn't exclude anybody. This is why it's so easy for people to cut corners, for people to try to cheat, to get what they want. They sell their soul just to be able to enjoy a little bit of materialism, a little bit of access. People will sell their souls for that. And see the difference in you and me and Bill Gates is Bill Gates got more access to money than us. And he do the same shit. He got to go take a dump, take a piss, bathe, eat. He got to do the same thing you do. Only difference is he got more access to capital than you got. And you'll find when you got people who have a lot of access to money, those are the people who folk want to be around. You know, those are the folk who people are catering to, the ones who got the access to that money. So why go out here and do something stupid when you can just start trying to develop more access to money? And you don't know what idea will work or will not work. You don't know. You don't have it. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. All right. Oh man, this is almost an hour. I want to stay on here. I'm gonna come on. So let me get on for an hour and see how this goes. See how I like this here. I like this. No camera. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I do. Yes, I do. I like this. So yeah, I think yeah, I like this. I like this. That's what I'm gonna start doing for a minute. Just using the turn the camera off. All right. What's this microphone is for? That mutes it. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. But anyway, like I said, man, it's a dreary, rainy Sunday today, and I didn't feel like getting out, getting in all that bad weather. Be trying to dodge that rain. Um, just chill today, you know. Trust God. See, that's another thing that um a lot of people don't give credence to is really surrendering and letting go. Because when you surrender and let go, man, you stop worrying about how things gonna happen. You stop worrying about that. That doesn't even bother you. And consequently, you can focus on a lot more different things. You can focus. But don't get caught up in this drama, man. All of this backbiting and he say, she say, and the left and the right, the conservative and the liberals, the Republicans and the Democrats, they all the same. They all the same. They all the same. They really are. It just what way the wind is blowing when they get up is the direction that they gonna go. Because you got to see, and this is where people don't want to be accountable and be responsible for. All politicians lie. Let me say that again. All politicians are professional liars. All politicians are professional liars. They're professional liars. In order for you to be successful in the game of politics, you have to be a good liar. Now tell me I'm wrong. So if you know that all of the people that you're dealing with are professional liars, you don't get caught up. You don't get caught up in this stuff because they are professional liars. Okay? You're going to be a successful politician. You're going to have to be a good liar. I mean, it's just that simple. You're going to have to be able to convince people that you're going to do some shit that you'll never get done. You'll never get it done. Because if you got it done, see, if we really want to have an impact on the criminal justice system and on, man, we need to take away these lifetime appointments for judges and put term limit on that, man. That's why crime is so screwed up. Because you got some people that on the bench for life. They ain't got to worry about no other job, so they can screw up. They can mess other people's lives up, and nothing's gonna happen to them. That's what and seriously, see, this is one of the reasons in DC that black men had the right to vote in the 1860s in DC. And the biggest fear of white people in the city at that time was black folk being on jury duty. And I submit to you that the crime is out of control in the black community because, and the disparity in the sentencing and all of the other stuff that we is because we don't want to serve on jury duty. And consequently, everybody else determining our fate because we don't want to be involved. We don't want to participate. So there are a lot of things that are contributing factors to this messed up situation that we're in. Anyway, I'm almost an hour. So I like this. I think I'm gonna do this again. Yeah, I'm gonna do this again. I like this. Yeah, I just wish they had a talk button on this thing, man. That's what I wish. Yeah, YouTube Live had a talk button, boy. They stumped. They would totally. They would just get rid of a lot of stuff, man. You know, they had a talk button. I don't see why. Damn, they don't want to compete with the other platforms that let you talk, and that's all they got to do. Put a talk button on this thing, man. And a lot of people would be going YouTube because YouTube is worldwide. It's worldwide. All right, all right, man. Happy Sunday, and y'all enjoy your day. I'll